Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. In today's video I have a couple of things that I want to show you and talk about. So the first one is a new paper digital download that I have ready. Hopefully by the time this video goes out it will have gone up into Etsy and Ko-fi. I'm going to show you that in a second, and I also want to use those papers to make some hidden paper clips. I'm running low on them and I do like to use those in my journals. So we'll have a quick look at the papers. There are, I think, 12 papers in this kit. They are all collage papers. They're really pretty, soft pastels, florals, and they are samples from vintage wallpapers. So I'll quickly just kind of go through these with you. There's quite a mixture in here between busier collages like these and more plain backgrounds, and also there's some strips in here as well that can be utilised for belly bands or pockets and things. These would be good as well actually for hidden paper clips because you can fold them over. This one obviously doesn't overlap collage, but it's kind of arranged so you can kind of just cut those out and use as journal cards or a backing for a cluster, something like that. This is just a slight misprint on my printer. You can see there's all these lovely peachy colours and soft pastels, and then we get some more plain, almost backing papers, if you will. So you could print them kind of back to back if you wanted to. And then I've also have a page of elements, and these elements are taken from these papers. So for example, let's see if I can find one. So for example, this here is this pattern here, and this one here is taken from this here. This is taken from a sample of this paper here, and these two as well will be somewhere within those collage papers. So that's 12 papers plus a page of elements, and I have actually as well printed 2 to a page and 4 to a page just to give me some size variation. And I'm going to use these papers today to make my hidden paper clips. So I have printed these on matte photo paper. It's a nice thick strong paper. I use it a lot. It's really nice quality, prints out really well. So let's have a look at my idea now for how I want to go about doing these paper clips. In terms of the paper clips, I've actually decided to dig out some layering dies. So I've gone through my stash and I've kind of found like the nesting dies, different various shapes. Because the way I'm actually going to do the paper clip is the same way as I actually did in my, was it the last video? Maybe in the one before that, where I used a smaller layer with a larger layer over the top. You can do it the other way around, but I thought nesting dies would be quite a convenient way of doing that because the shape for both layers would be the same. So I dug out some of the nesting dies, some more examples here. Postage stamp ones might be nice. Got a little one here. And then these ones aren't exactly nesting, but they are layered, which again would look nice because it's symmetrical. I can just fold this in half to create my paper clip with some layers over the top. I've got this one as well, which I thought would work in a similar way. And then some basic rectangle shapes, some Polaroid shapes, kind of like a long oval, and then just some basic shapes like little flags and banners as well. And my idea is to use some of the dies to cut from various sections of the papers. And I have found that, like I said before, the ones that are symmetrical so they can be folded. But yeah, I'm going to cut some of the shapes out from these new papers. So let's just have a quick look at the stamp, for example. I could just do a really like plain background, or I could use something like that, or like this, or I could use something with a little bit more of like an eclectic look to it and just kind of cut out a section like that. I also have some kind of more budget card. It's only very thin, but just to do the layer underneath, because I don't want to use my good pattern papers on something that isn't going to be seen. So for example, on the layer that's underneath, which is folded and the paper clip goes on top. And if you're not sure what I mean, all will become clear in a second. But there's going to be a layer underneath where we put the paper clip before we cover it. So I just want something a little less expensive and good quality to use as that. So I'm going to go away and have a play now. I'm going to get some shapes cut out, and then I will get back to you once all that's done, and we can start putting the paper clips together and then using some of the elements, where have they gone? Some of these elements to decorate them. So I've cut a few different shapes out using these dies. I've tended to have used the smallest one down or the one after that. So this bit, the white bit, will fit underneath this patterned bit without being seen. So I've done a circle. I have this one from this die set, postage stamp one. And I thought it was just easier for this to just cut a smaller rectangle rather than do the postage stamp shape. That's that one. I've done this one, and then this will be folded behind. It's the layering bit from here. A hexagon. This shape here. And even done a tag shape, because even irregular shapes or shapes that aren't symmetrical can still be folded. They're going to go either side of a page, so it just gives it a different look. It's actually quite a good way of doing it, because then you're just making one paper clip, but it looks, you know, you've got that variety and it actually looks different on each side. I've also used this set here to cut some bits. So this is the main one. This is this one. Then this is this one. So all of this is designed to work together, or you can use it on its own. So it does layer really nicely as well. I've got that, and I'm sure I had, oh, here we go. This is this bit here. It can be layered up. I don't think I will, because I don't want to cover this. And this one as well is this here. Again, I don't know if I'll cover it or not. I may just fold it and do a smaller paper clip. A good thing about using dies is that you can go slightly bigger in size and do more of like a jumbo paper clip. And also you get these unusual shapes that you probably, well, I wouldn't personally, if I was hand cutting a shape, I wouldn't do something like this, you know, I'd just do a circle or a rectangle, something that was easier for me. So I think using dies gives you that flexibility. Like, for example, these nestables are huge. This is my hand, and this is the die. So you could make a humongous paperclip, and I quite like the idea of having a large paperclip because sometimes the smaller ones, you put something in and it moves about. So I haven't gone really, really big on here, but I have gone slightly big. So I've done a scallop circle and some white there. And the next thing I'm going to do is get these cut out, because if you don't have any dies, but you have, you know, either this kit or another kit or some scrapbooking paper that's got some elements with it, you can just use those. So you don't have to necessarily use dies. I just thought it would be a fun thing to do and just something a little bit more unusual for my journal. But I am going to cut these out as well. So this would work well as a paper clip because we can just fold it like that. This one would also work. We can fold it in half. This one probably would, though it's a little bit small, but I have cut these out ready to use for decoration. And I've also quickly put together some very simple shapes in case you're wanting something a little bit different but you don't have the dies. I will just put these onto Ko-fi for you to download and print. So what you could do is either print them on some very cheap, affordable copy paper, cut round it, put it on maybe some spare packaging or a box or something, draw around it and cut around it again. Then you can use them as almost like stencils for cutting out a different shape. And then you can use them then to draw around on your patterned paper. And I just thought that might be useful in case you didn't have any dies. In fact, and I might actually do this butterfly as well and show you how I would go about using this. So I've got my kind of cut out like that. And to try and get it somewhat symmetrical, I'm going to kind of guesstimate the middle. About be around there. And I can fold it and cut both sides together. So then we've got a symmetrical butterfly. Even though it doesn't match the black outline, the shape of the wings actually match with each other. That's how I would go about it. You can freehand it as well. It's not a, you know, if you want to, if you feel confident in doing that. I'm not great at cutting, so that's why I haven't done that, but you can do. And then what I might do then is perhaps use this because it's different on both sides, and then my paper clip would look different on both sides. I probably would either stick this onto some card or draw around it, like I said, to make it a little bit stronger, especially for, you know, if you're looking to reuse it. I'm just going to get a pencil and trace around. And I'm actually going to stop there because I'm going to fold it again. So let's just cut across here. And that's very, very faint. You might just be able to see that half of a butterfly. I've marked the middle here. So I just need to find a ridge to settle that in. And then I can use the outline here cut. I'm just going to go just inside that pencil mark. It doesn't matter if you can see it. You can always rub it out, but or you could do it on the back. There you go. There's our butterfly. I've actually done that quite well as well. I've managed to get that in the middle. Quite impressed with that. So I thought these shapes just might come in handy. I'll keep that butterfly. I will definitely use that. For doing the bit on the inside, what I would do then is draw around it on a piece where it fits. I would draw around it again, but then I would cut kind of maybe leaving quarter of an inch around, and then it would fit underneath. In fact, I may as well do that because I need to do it anyway. Draw around it again, and I think I might just do the one side again. And I'm going to cut, leaving about a quarter of an inch so that the butterfly, this white butterfly, will fit underneath this butterfly. And the shape doesn't have to be exactly the same either, as long as it's just not seen. Okay, so if we pop it against that one, you can see it's smaller. So then when we put it underneath, we're going to be able to fit it under there nicely and it can't be seen. Okay, so that's how I would go about using, I don't know what to call them. They're not really stencils, are they? So now I've got loads of different things cut out and I need to kind of start narrowing it down a little bit and doing something with these. Otherwise I'm going to get lost and forget what I'm doing. So I have a couple of different sizes of paperclip. I've got these larger ones which are great for the larger shapes obviously, and then I've got the smaller ones which are ideal for the smaller shapes. And the size of your paperclip does matter to a point because you want something, you want a paperclip that is smaller than your inside bit when it's folded. So you don't want the end coming off here. It will make sense in a second. So to make things simple, let's just do the circle. A circle is going to be easy enough to do because we can just fold it in half. So we're going to fold our circle in half, and this is the way to do. This is the way that I would go about doing a paper clip. Oh, it's one way that you could do it anyway. So fold it in half. So I'm going to see which size paper clip fits. Now that one I couldn't use because I can't open it. Paper clip's too long. So for this one, I'm going to have to use the smaller ones. I'm imagining this is going to go on the page like this, or from the top. So I would put a couple of paper clips on there. You could do 2, you could do 3. I think 2 might be okay. Yeah, I think 2 will be okay. So we pop some paper clips down there. Then we need some double-sided tape. And with the tape, we secure the paper clips in place. And you want to do that on both sides. And then you want to get a bone folder or something that you can use to really burnish that tape down so it's stuck right around the paper clip. You see the difference? Do that on both sides, okay? Then you just need to get whatever shape you're having on the front. This one can be folded in half as well. Like that. Okay, and I'm going to Use pumice stone ink. I just want a little bit of ink around there. I don't want anything. I don't want too much, just a little bit of definition around the edge. And you might even like to do the crease as well. I'm not, because I may layer something over it. Then we get this inside bit and we take the tape off. And you need some glue. I'm going to use Collal. Collal's nice and strong. It's ideal for things like this. And then I'm going to pop that all over the tape, as well as on this circle, the semicircle. The purpose of this tape is to enclose those paper clips, so they're not going to shift about. And then we just pop our semicircle, crease first into the crease here. Then you want to take the tape off the other side and do exactly the same thing. Give that a minute to dry. And then this is the base of your paper clip, and you can just pop it on your page like that. So what I tend to do is make up a lot of these bases, and then sometimes I will decorate them when I come to use them, or put a photograph on them, or just use it for a little bit of journaling. But that is essentially our hidden paper clip. So the paper clip is hidden on this white bit and then covered by, you know, something pretty. Let's do another one. Let's do something like this. So just fold this one in half. And we can fold this one in half. The good thing about dies is that obviously they cut for you. So if you're wanting something symmetrical, they're going to be pretty accurate, rather than, you know, if you've hand cut them. And then this fits, because it's a layering die, this fits nicely into here. And then you get this really unusual shaped paper clip. So I think it's really worthwhile sometimes digging things like dies out. Just going to remove that. It's not something I would think to use when I was making a hidden paper clip, but I think it's actually quite a good idea. It's turning out quite nice. And on this one, I can just use the one paper clip, I think, and I can go for a longer one because it still allows me to open. I could do one there. I could do one here if I want it a little bit more secure. We could go for that. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. If you're using something like I've got here with dots, don't put glue over it, because you need to keep the entrance open. You don't want to glue those bits together. So when we glue, we're just going to put it on the kind of like plain bit, the full bit. Let's burnish that down and get that off. If you are, say, using an unusual shape like this, so you've used a die or you've just kind of hand cut an unusual shape, but you don't necessarily have some, you know, a shape that would fit inside, you can just get yourself some paper, fold it up and cut it so it fits. So maybe do, so you could use something like that. It doesn't have to be a shape. I just use a layering die for convenience because I know it fits inside, but you don't have to. You could do something like that, exactly the same thing, and then close it up. Pop that in. You want to make sure as well, you could just come down a little bit from the crease, just to give it room to fold. Give it room to fold over. And then we can use some tape on this side in exactly the same way. So I've got two bases there, and I'm going to do the rest in exactly the same way. Let's just do this butterfly. I should have inked this before I folded it, so I will ink that quickly now. And let's do this since we've done it you know, since we've done it together anyway. Just use one paper clip. That shall be fine. Now, so on this one, I've just noticed that it comes over the edge, but this one does, but this bit doesn't. So that would still, it would still work. Say if that's a paper clip, like it would still clip onto there because it hasn't got both sides. If both sides were meeting, it would close it up. But since they're not, you can still open it and we can still use that. A bit of ink around here as well. Again, I should have done this before I folded it, but never mind. That pumice stone ink, the colour of it goes lovely with these kind of soft pastels that are in these papers. Okay, and that's the basic construction of the hidden paper clips. So I've done these 3. I am going to get on now and do the rest of these. I may do a few in a slightly different way by putting, for example, something larger underneath and then popping something like this on top, in which case I won't need a white bit. I'll just put the paper clip straight onto here. But yes, I'm going to get on because the construction is complete. I'm going to do them in exactly the same way. So once my bases are done, I will get back to you. And if I need to give you the lowdown on anything or explain anything, I will do that in a second. So these are all stuck together and I have plenty to go at now in terms of paper clip bases. I probably will leave most of these blank and I will decorate them when I come to use them. This is the one, that strip of paper that I just folded over and I've rounded the corners. And some of them are just strips of paper that I had left over from when I was cutting the dies out. So I've just folded that one in half and rounded the corners. That makes a nice blank. The same with this one as well, rounded the corners. I thought I would very quickly maybe just do 1 or 2 decorated together so you can see some of the elements from that kit. I'm also using some elements from my file folder kit, some labels and a tag that I'm going to put at the top. This is available on Etsy and Ko-fi. I will leave a link for you in the description. But for these longer strips of paper, I always feel make a good top loading paper clip. So that's how I'm going to treat these 3, and I've got a little tag there from the file folder kit, and I've got this which is I printed out from the elements from this collage paper. I thought would go there. This label from the collage kit I think goes really nicely here, and then on the other side I've got this label which I may be able to use somewhere and pop that flower on there. So I'm just going to get these stuck down. So I would probably call this finished. I may add something extra onto it when I come to use it, but I think that one is all good to go. And for one of these, I've cut a butterfly from a freebie from a couple of weeks ago. You can find this on the freebie section on my Ko-fi page. I thought that could be used. Might look nice on that one. We could perhaps put a label there. And fold over. Then the butterfly I'm going to put on there like that. So when you've got something patterned, a very nice kind of busy patterned background, it doesn't take a lot to kind of decorate it. A focal point in a label, and you know, you've got somewhere to put a date there. If you want to put a date, you could leave that blank. You could put a photograph onto that side. So using some pretty paper, some pretty collage papers, I think can make all the difference. So there's those sides, and that's those sides. The butterfly wings here don't need worrying about, because once it's over a page, it's not going to be seen. So thank you for joining me today. Give you a last quick look of what we've made, and perhaps give it a go. Grab your dies or grab some templates and just maybe try some more of these more unusual shapes. But I will say goodbye for today, and I'll see you next time. All the links and things that you need will be in the description, including any freebies and the templates that I have used today, and also the link to the digital papers as well. See you soon. Take care. Bye bye.